Let's talk about Luis Diaz's potential transfer to Barcelona because it's been widely reported over the past day or so that Barca are keeping an eye on him, man. They want to bring him to the club. Deco's favorite winger is Luis Diaz, and we know how intelligent Deco is and how much scouting he does. The guy's a fucking genius, so he must know what he's talking about, right? Deco most definitely know what he's talking about. And it's not going to backfire to make a deal with Liverpool again, right? Because the Coutinho thing went so well. The Coutinho deal was amazing. I mean, it's not like we got fucking scammed for Coutinho, okay? It's not like they were able to sign Alisson and Van Dijk with the Coutinho money and start a fucking dynasty. It's not like any of that happened, right? So why don't we just do it again? Why don't we do another deal with Liverpool where we give them a lot of money for a player who, honestly, man, we don't need. We don't need Luis Diaz, and I don't think Lucho's a bad player. I actually really rate Lucho. I think he's a great player, actually. Do I think he's world class? No. But I think he's very, very good. And this season, he had a good season. His end product sometimes can be a little bit frustrating because his finishing can be, I mean, sometimes you look at this guy's finishing and you're like, how the fuck are you a pro footballer? But bro, he's a great player. Anybody acting like Luis Diaz is not a great player doesn't watch football because he is that good. Last year under Klopp, he had a down season because, you know, he dealt with some injuries. And also, keep in mind, his fucking family got kidnapped in a foreign country. So, of course, he's not going to be in the best mental state to play a game. Okay? I don't blame him for that. When your family's getting kidnapped in South America and you're in England, you're probably, and he still managed to play, by the way, which is props to him. He's reliable. His work rate is amazing. I'm not going to sit here and shit on Luis Diaz, but the price tag of 85 million, now it came out today by the Barca guy on Twitter, Rashad, that the 85 market value is an assumption, that Liverpool haven't set that price tag yet. And that's good to hear because 85 million to me for Luis Diaz, it's too much. He's 28 years old, bro. Why are you paying 85 million for a 28-year-old? And granted, 28, people are acting like 28 is 37. He's not ancient. Actually, most players get to their prime at 28 years old or around that age in their mid to late 20s. So I'm not sitting here acting like Luis Diaz is washed and he doesn't have another level to get to. He could possibly get to another level. But for 85 million, bro, you know what's crazy about this? The Liverpool player that I want is actually not Luis Diaz. You know who I would actually take over Luis Diaz from that Liverpool squad? Give me Darwin Núñez. And people are going to think I'm crazy. I think Darwin would be better signing for Barca than Luis Diaz. I honestly think so. And I think Lucho is the better player, but Darwin is younger, and he actually fills a position of need because Darwin can play as a striker. That's actually his preferred position as striker. And I understand that Darwin Núñez, his time at Liverpool has not been amazing. He was at Benfica, and he was great. And obviously, they kind of signed Darwin to compete with Haaland. You know, Man City signed Haaland, Liverpool signed Darwin. It was going to be like this amazing rivalry. Oh, we got Darwin, you got Haaland. Let's see who can score more goals. And obviously, Haaland lapped him. He's way better than Darwin. But I think Darwin is a better player. Not a better player. I think Darwin is a better signing. I honestly do because he actually like I said, he fills a position that Barca need to strengthen, which is a striker position. Now, Barca also need a winger, but I'm not comfortable paying $85 million for Luis Diaz. And again, the money's not coming out of my pocket, so Barca can do whatever they want. And they're going to do whatever they want. And I'm really not in a position to question a transfer because I said Dani Olmo wasn't the best signing for Barca. And did he prove me wrong? I'm not going to say he proved me wrong, but he was actually way better than I thought he was going to be. But then again, he was injured. And that was my one concern with Dani Olmo was he's so injury prone. And he was injured this year for Barca. He missed a bunch of games. So, you know, I'm not going to say I was wrong on that, but he kind of, you know, he did better than I thought he was going to do. So maybe the same thing happens with Luis Diaz. But I really don't know, man. I really don't know. These price tags, I think that Barca could be doing a lot better with 85 million. I think there's a lot of other players you can get in this market for 85 million that are going to be more, they're going to be a more intelligent and more productive signing than Luis Diaz. And I think, again, like I said, Lucho's a great player. I watched him at the Copa America with Colombia. He was amazing for that team. He was so good for that team. He has talent. He's kind of one-dimensional in the fact that he can really only play as a left winger. And, you know, he's not really like a guy like Rafinha or Ferran who can play kind of anywhere across the front three. Or Rafinha can play left wing or right wing, not really striker. But anyway, my point is, he's kind of just like, he needs to play left wing to be productive, which is not great. But man, I wouldn't, look, if you can get Luis Diaz for 50 million, sure. For 50 million, sure. But for 85, that to me is crazy. And again, I don't want to do a transfer with Liverpool. I don't want to do a transfer with Liverpool. I don't want to give them money and then they go sign Florian Wirtz. I don't want to give them money and then they go sign, I don't know, some fucking stud in Europe because we paid them 85 million for Luis Diaz. And I honestly think that Darwin Núñez would be a better signing for Barca than Luis Diaz. I really do believe that. And like I said, I don't think Darwin is a better player. But I think that he would fit this team more because I think that we need strikers. Desperately, we need a striker. And I think that Darwin Núñez in the right environment can actually thrive. I'm not giving up on that guy, bro. I'm buying stock on Darwin Núñez. His stock is down right now, bro. It's down. It's way down. But, you know, you got to buy when it's down because when it goes up, that's when you make the money. So I'm buying Darwin stock. Anybody selling it, I'm buying it. And maybe I go broke, but honestly, bro, I believe in that guy. I really do believe in him. So if you want to sign one guy, it could be Darwin. But for me, Luis Diaz, man, I don't know what Deco's obsession is with Luis Diaz because it's been a couple years now that Barca have been linked to this guy. It's not just this season. It's been a couple years now that Deco's been talking about how, oh, we want to bring in Luis Diaz. He's Deco's favorite transfer. He's Deco's favorite winger to bring in. And Joan Laporta is apparently Rafael Leao. I mean, for me, I would take Marcus Rashford over Luis Diaz. And by the way, they're both around the same age. Rashford, people think Rashford is still like 21 years old because he started his career so young. Rashford is 27. He's almost like he's in his late 30s. Luis Diaz is a year older. He's 28. So the age difference is not that big. But I see more of, like, I think we could do more with Rashford. We can mold him into a different player. And I don't see that with Luis Diaz. I think Luis Diaz is what he is, and you have to accept it. I don't see that with Rashford. I think that Rashford is going to be cheaper as well. So, and also Rafael Leao, man, everybody's on the Leao hate train. I'm buying Leao's talk. I think he was inconsistent this year, and I understand that people are like, oh, every time I watch Leao play, he's not very good. I get it. Okay, he has his ups and downs, and this season it's been a lot of downs because the Milan team has been fucking shit. They've been really, really bad, but I think Rafael Leao, his talent is so immense. He's more talented than Marcus Rashford. He's more talented than Luis Diaz. And talent can only take you so far, but that's what you start with is a talent. You need the talent there, but without talent, you have nothing. You're just dreaming that this guy can one day maybe become talented. With Leao, you know he's talented. And by the way, all these guys are talented. So is Luis Diaz, so is Rafael Leao, so is Marcus Rashford. They're all talented. But out of those three, if I have to rank them, I would put Rashford number one because he's going to be the cheapest one. And he's really eager to come to Barca. I would put Leao too because if you're going to spend 85 million on Luis Diaz, what are Milan going to want for Leao? If they want 100, might as well pay the 15 extra and get Leao. And then number three, I'll put Luis Diaz. But again, but to reiterate, I don't think it's this terrible transfer. I don't think it's the end of the world if Barca sign Luis Diaz. But I do think that with this amount of money, you could maybe fill other positions. With 85 million, I would much rather you go out and sign an elite fullback. I would much rather you go out and sign an elite fullback because Barca need that. Or maybe you get a goalkeeper. You could split that. You could spend like 40 million on a goalkeeper, maybe Joan Garcia, however much Espanyol want for him, and then you spend the other 45 million getting Ratiu. Or you get, I don't know, Vanderson from Leo as a fullback, which we desperately need. So, or what's that guy's name from Benfica, the guy that actually shut down Lamine Yamal in these games that they played against Benfica, Carreras, who used to play for Man United. Why don't we do that instead of looking at these fucking shiny toys like Luis Diaz? And I have a lot of friends that are Liverpool fans, and I talk to them, and they're like, hey man, I wouldn't be opposed to letting go of Luis Diaz. I mean, a lot of Liverpool fans that I've talked to, again, they don't represent the whole fan base, but the ones that I've talked to, they are happy with Luis Diaz. They would not mind keeping him, but if Barca are going to give him 85 million, then they'd be more than happy to sell him. Like they're not holding on. Like they're not mad that Barca want to pay 85 million. If Barca want to pay 85 million for Luis Diaz, they will not be mad about it. Is my point, and that should tell you everything you need to know. When a rival fan base is like, oh yeah, well, give us the money, you can have him. That's not like if somebody offered Barca right now 85 million euros for, let's just say, Lamine Yamal, we would all be like, fuck no, because it doesn't make any sense. But if somebody said, hey, we'll give you 85 million for Ferran Torres, and we'll be like, oh, yeah, take him. We all love Ferran, but we'd be like, yeah, take him, because he's valuable, but not that valuable. And I think that's the way that Liverpool fans see Luis Diaz. He's valuable, but not that valuable. And at times this season, Salah really carried that attack. And that's because Luis Diaz and Jota, and at times, Gakpo didn't really, Gakpo was actually good this season in my opinion, but they weren't really stepping up to the plate, and Mo Salah had to carry it for the most part. But the attack was decent. I mean, they finished first in the Prem for a reason. It wasn't all because of Mohamed Salah. And Luis Diaz had his moments. He had terrible legs against PSG, but he had his moments. So he has potential. I think he's a great player. But for 85 million, you could be doing a lot better. But again, this guy Rashad is saying that apparently the 85 million is just a price tag that Spanish media has put out there. It's not actually what Liverpool want for the player. So that makes me a little bit more happy, and that makes me less anxious that Barca are actually going to pay this. But I think that, I don't know, man. It's hard for me because I think that Barca have had such a great season, but this season, obviously, we won a domestic treble. Sorry, we almost were able to win a treble if Barca can just hang on for 1 minute against Inter. We had a great season, one of the best seasons we've had since we won the UCL, since Barca won the UCL back in 2014, 2015 in Berlin. So maybe people were like, oh, be grateful of Joan Laporta and Deco. I really don't think that had anything to do with the success that Barca had this season, man. I really don't. Like, what did they do? They signed Dani Olmo. That's it. That's really, and Dani Olmo was injured for the most part. But every other player that was on the squad was already there. And it just took Hansi Flick to, get them to another level. But every single player was still there. And Joan Laporta and Deco were not telling the coach who to pick out from La Masia. That was Xavi and that was Hansi Flick. That was Xavi who brought up Lamine Yamal. That was Xavi who brought up Paco Arce. That was Xavi who, wanted to bring in Fermín López. That was Hansi Flick that trusted Marc Casado and Bernal. It wasn't Joan Laporta and Deco. So they need to just relax. And apparently the Flickinator has approved this move. What happened to you, my man? I love you so much, but you're killing me. But I believe in Hansi Flick. Whoever this guy gets his hands on, especially wingers, we saw Serge Gnabry, we saw Lamine Yamal, we saw Rafinha. What he's been able to do with these guys, it's immense. So maybe he'll do the same with Luis Diaz, but 85 million is a little bit crazy for a player. But again, just want to give my brief thoughts on this. Probably a double upload today, depending on how the Europa League final goes. If it's a good game, I'll obviously make a video on that. If it's a shit game, I won't make a video on it because, Spurs and Man United, 16th and 17th in the Prem. How the fuck is that a Europa League final? But most likely getting a double upload today. And tomorrow, be on the lookout. My Barca keeper, sell, and player ratings, all in one video is coming out tomorrow. 57-minute long video. 57 minutes long. So go buy a large pizza or something, or go, I don't know, fucking find something to do for 57 minutes, or skim through it, whatever you want to do. But it's going to be a long video, probably the longest video I've ever posted. So that's coming tomorrow. And yeah, I love every single one of you guys. Follow me on TikTok, by the way. If you guys are, I hate doing this thing, I hate telling people to follow me or like and subscribe. You guys know, I really don't do that. It kind of seems like it's a little bit, desperate. I don't like it. But if you want to check me out on TikTok, you can. I'm posting a lot more on there. So if you guys want to check it out, the link is in my description. But yeah, man, love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.